Hello, beautiful souls. Hello, hello, hello. I wanted to come on and be open and vulnerable and honest and raw with my mess, with my pain, with my trauma. So often, me or the world, we only show the beautiful parts of ourselves. We only show the joyful parts of ourselves. We only show the happy parts of ourselves. In hope that us being joyful and happy will reflect outward to the world and help others to be joyful and happy. But today, I want to be open and raw and vulnerable about my pain and my trauma in hopes that I can encourage other people who may be going through pain and trauma to feel their trauma and to feel their pain. So the past 2 days for me have been a little bit trauma-filled, or a lot trauma-filled. And the 2 days before that were absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. I was in beautiful presence here in Sedona, finding my way in Sedona and on my way to become the best, most aligned, best version of myself. And I had even announced on social media that this version of myself is the best version of myself that I've ever been. And I moved to Sedona, Arizona for one reason. And that reason was to become the best version of myself, to finally align with her, to finally align with the person that I've always wanted to be, to finally align with the most loving, most abundant, most spiritually connected, most serving, most helping version of generous Janelle that she's ever been. I came in hopes of meeting the best version of me and integrating with her. And sometimes when we are on, actually all the time, when we are on a mission to become the best version of ourselves, in order to become the best version of ourselves, we have to meet the worst version of ourselves. And that's what happened. The past 2 days, I spent the 2 days before that with a man that I've had, a huge crush on for, over a year now. Talk about compatibility. If there was one person who I always felt I was the most compatible with out of everyone I've met, it was him. And he has told me, I've always been open and vulnerable and honest with my heart about that. And, he had told me multiple times that he didn't feel that way about me. And I still continued after he didn't reciprocate those feelings to still try to be friends with this man for over a year. And because he's a beautiful soul and I love him for who he is, and it didn't matter that he didn't have romantic feelings for me because I just wanted to love. I just wanted to love. And then yesterday we had done a meditation. We had participated in a meditation, and it was a non-physical, non-sexual tantra meditation. And in the middle of that, one of the lines in it, and I had done this before with my previous partner, Levi. I had, or still partner, who knows what's happening in my reality. But there was a line in it where you say 12 different statements, and then to the other person, and then the other person says what statement hit them the most. And for me, it's always been the statement of, you are safe with me. You are safe with me. And so as he looked me in the eyes, and he said all these statements, and then I'm supposed to tell him back what statement hit my heart the most. Right after he said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right. And he was being open and honest with his heart. He was putting up his boundaries. And I had said, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in this relationship. I don't feel safe. And what ended up happening from that was a spiral of emotions, of trauma, of childhood trauma that emerged in me, of me being abandoned, of me being neglected, of me feeling unloved, of me feeling unwanted, of me feeling undesired, of me feeling like I wasn't good enough. All of this trauma and pain from my childhood of not being wanted and not being good enough emerged in that moment with this beautiful man. And I tried my best in that moment. I tried so hard in that moment not to project, because I knew, I've done the work, I knew that he wasn't causing the trauma in me, but he was the permission slip for the trauma to rise in me so that I could heal my trauma, so that I could overcome my trauma. And this went back and forth for hours of just trauma, of just roller coasters of I'm good, I'm bad, I'm good, I'm good, bad, I'm good, I'm bad. Until finally I latched out, and in his perception I projected, pain and of the masculine onto him, which I probably did. And we separated yesterday, and I apologized over and over. And then today, I had realized after that what I was feeling was this constant search for love outside of me instead of giving myself self-love. And here I am, a love coach, right? I'm a self-empowerment coach. I teach people to find greater love and heal their trauma. And even as a love coach, even as a spiritual coach, even as a trauma coach, I still face my own feelings of not being loved. I still face trauma. And that's part of coaching, is realizing that there's always going to be moments where trauma emerges. No matter how far you get, no matter how far you've come. And it's the ways that we deal with it. It's the skills and the tools of continuing getting back up and using the tools that we know to bring us into more alignment, to bring us into more peace, to bring us into more ease. And I received a text from this beautiful man today, pretty much telling me that because of yesterday, and because of my emotions, and because of the way that I'm unhealed, and because of my trauma, that he no longer feels the need to have a friendship with me, and that he wants me to leave him alone. And that killed me. That killed me, because all that he was doing was projecting back at me what I felt I needed. And there was one line that he said that really got me, is I had said, "You're pushing me away." And he had said to me that I was pushing him away. He said, "You pushed away me. You pushed away Nimbus, his dog. And now, because you pushed us away, I have to push you away." And it was that moment that I realized I pushed people away because of my unhealed trauma, because of my enmeshment trauma, because of my attachment trauma. And that the Lord will always, always, always reflect back at us. It will always mirror back at us the parts of ourselves that are active with us. No one outside of us is outside of us. Everything outside of us is us, teaching us a lesson, teaching us a teaching, helping us to become a best version of ourselves. We all have trauma. We all have healing to do. No matter how far you get, things will always resurface, just as they did for me the past 2 days. But it's how we deal with it, and recognizing that no one's outside of us, but everyone's within us. Everyone is us, deeply and more authentically showing us more of who we are. So I hope that my vulnerability and my honesty and my open heart today, and all of my pain and all of my heart that I'm feeling today, can motivate you guys to look more deeply at yourself, to look more deeply at the parts of yourself that are unhealed, to look more deeply at the parts of yourself that are traumatized, and do the work to heal them. Today, I am not the best version of myself that I've ever been. This is not the best version of me. But today, I meet her. Today, I meet the version of myself that isn't the best version of myself, so that I can learn the lesson to then become the best version of myself. And that's what I want to motivate you all to do. We're not always going to be the best versions of ourselves. But on the days when we're not the best versions, have loving kindness for that aspect of you. Because that aspect of you wants to be loved, wants to be wanted, wants to be adored. Because you are wanted, and you are loved, and you are adored. But if you keep avoiding your own self-love journey, the universe is going to continue to bring people into your life who aren't going to love you, hoping that you get a little bit of a clue to love yourself and to stop looking for love in all the wrong places, and to stop looking for love outside of you, because nothing is outside of you. As you watch this video, I am not outside of you. I am you, in a different body and in a different experience, giving you a different message that resonates with your heart and resonates with your soul. Don't give up, pretty people. Don't give up. I see you. I welcome you. And most importantly, I love you. I love you not just for your happiness and your joy and your excitement, but I love you in your pain. I love you in your trauma. I love you in your anger. I love all of those unhealed parts of you. You are safe to scream. You are safe to cry. You are safe to feel. Because it's never about that person. No one can make you feel any way. You get to choose how you feel. And I would just hold loving space. Just as you guys are holding loving space for me if you made it this far in the video. So thank you for letting me share my journey. Thank you for allowing me to show you my real, authentic, vulnerable parts of myself. I love you. I am Jenna Rose Giannetti, your spiritual love coach who is on a quest for more spiritual love and coaching herself.